I am Ann-Peggy Divine. Welcome to the Divine Design, the podcast where we unfold heaven on earth and reframe spirituality and theology for a new cosmic era. Your journey on human evolution and integration of your divine design starts here. Now, before you jump into this episode, if this conversation resonates with you, please like, subscribe, and share this with whoever you feel that needs to hear it. Together, your support helps us sustain this work, bringing transformational wisdom into the world and nurturing the awakening of our shared foundation, Mother Earth. Thank you very much. Welcome, Lisa Wallner, to this Divine Design podcast.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
And you are from Austria.
I'm from Austria. I'm from Vienna, so I live in Europe as you also. And so it's great to have this connection. And I think we do have so many like synchronicities and things in common. So I'm really excited about the conversation.
Yeah, we met in a breakout room together. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
And we went off script because we took the situation the day, and it started from there.
Yeah, it was like really, I think it was a week ago. It was meant to happen because I went through I had a weird day. Something went wrong. I was so triggered in that moment.
Yeah.
Still, I felt I need to go to the call. And then we were like just the two of us in the breakout session. And then we had this like kind of work we should do. We were supposed to do a work. And I was like, you know what? I'm like just having a really bad day. Maybe you have something to say to me.
Yeah, and I say, of course, I'm there for you. And we took,
Yeah, and it really shifted. Like you said, this is happening for you. And I was like, yes, of course, it's happening for me. And then like something shifted inside me and I could just be more embracing the situation.
Yeah.
And often like the first step for a healing or transformation. So it really, now looking back, I think it's not even like a big deal, you know. In the moment it seems, oh my gosh, you know, something is happening so unfair. But now I'm like, okay, so what?
Yeah, and this is a good example how quick, because you were in it. You had been there for, I think about the last time, because it had built up kind of.
Yeah.
And you were in it. And then I said, okay, this is happening for you. And just talking to you, you saw it. You kind of, I see that. And you shifted.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's also, I think it's the power of asking for help. I mean, that's what usually with people when I coach them, like when they come to me and they ask for help and they're like, okay, I really want to see it differently. I want to have a different perspective. And that's the opening is actually what is so important, because if we are not open for change, if we are not like asking, like, how can I see this differently? Nothing is going to change. And we're just stuck in our own pain, in our own perspective, and just being a little willing, you know, that's what I always heard from one of my teachers. He was like, you just need this tiny, tiny, tiny little willingness for change. And then like the universe or God is rushing in to help you, you know, but we just need to be like a little bit open, and then, you know, everything can shift. So I really think that's important to remember.
Yeah, and if we were supposed to do everything because we were instructed to do a task. So if we were kind of, we have to listen to the task, we would also know we couldn't take this situation. But I know that, okay, this is not, it is for a reason. So it's let's to take it so that I don't remember the task we were supposed to do, but that was we were supposed to meet. So this happened, it can happen to me, you, all of us.
Yeah, like listen to what's really needed in that moment.
Yes.
So being, you know, free to improvise. That's what I have in my work. You know, I'm not like, when I coach, I'm not really following rules. Like I was always such a rebel. You know, I like to learn. And I'm like, no, I'm going to just break the rules, because the instincts we have, they're like, this is our superpower, the intuition and the instincts.
Yep.
And all the concepts and then structures and the rules. I mean, it's good to know them, but then when you know them, you can also let them go and you can just, experiment and improvise. And that's where the magic happens.
Yes.
So that's what we also did in that moment. And now we're here and we're having a really nice podcast. That's amazing. And I just Norway, because I always felt I want to go to Norway. I'm like a northern person, I have this kind of more introvert temperament. I like cool air. I like snow. I like winter. So I'm not like, I need like 30 degrees or something. And I always felt I want to go to Norway. I want to see the Northern Lights. And now you live there. Like, this is such an amazing synchronicity also, that we meet people that are just meant to be on our path. Yeah.
And I'm sure that we are hundreds in the program we are taking, and I'm sure that several of us will meet.
Yes.
I was so strongly guided, and it's like, well, why do I have to take this program? But it was so strong guidance, and I thought, okay, it is in English, okay, but I thought, okay, I will do it. I'm very glad, because in my head is what I don't have time to this, because I'm supposed to do this. So if I went to my mind, it said, no, I don't have time, but we just have to take time. Time is something we decide where to
Yeah, lovely. So,
and you have written 2 books, because we started just before we started recording. You have written 2 books. I have just written 4 books, and we see that they are in the same team, in the same category, spiritual.
Yeah, I love your books, like also the titles you have about the architecture. I mean, it makes total sense. It feels like a series. Do you want to talk about like your books? Like, what is this, like a series, or is each of them standing for itself?
When I got the first book, I had no idea, kind of, because that was kind of the architecture of light, and how we are creating the new cosmos. So this is very cosmology, and I wasn't so much into it. I just love being under the Aurora Borealis, talk to the Aurora Borealis and the stars. I love being out in the nighttime, just because it's amazing. And then I was guided and activated to write a book about what I experienced. And I thought, okay, so the book just came through me while I was out, and I started to write, and then suddenly, wow, I wrote a book. Or it wasn't writing, it felt like I birthed the book, because I have written, and it was the Health Bible, and that was the old way. So and I said, oh, I don't want to write more books the old way, kind of. So this was kind of more like, I have birthed 5 children, so it was like birthed, a quick birth. a quick birth. So when I got the first, I had no idea that it will be the second and the third. And it started in a full moon. The full moon, the 4th of December, 2025, the first. Then the next full moon, the next come. And then the third full moon, the third come. So all of them came in the full moon ceremony I had. So it's like, okay, this is what's supposed to happen, this full moon opening.
In a short amount of time also, like 25, like in 1 year, you wrote like 4 books?
The Health Bible, I used 6 years. But this book, I used a day. The whole script came a day. When I had a ceremony. So and then the day following, I just took in what I needed. So now, since 4th of December, I have written 4 books.
Wow, amazing.
So the 3 first, they are trilogy, and I had no idea. And the answer, that kind of the first talk about cosmos, and it's like, okay, because I'm very practical, I want to embody, and it has to be practical, that we can live it, not just talking about something spiritual or something woo-woo. So it's like, okay, I understand all of it, but I want it to be more bodily. And then it come more in the second, and in the third, it kind of totally landed. And so, wow! So even though I got the first, the second, and the third, I recommend people to read the third, the second, and in the opposite, because the first is the practical. You feel it in your body because you understand it here. And then you go to future medicine. And because when you understand yourself, then you understand future medicine. And then you go to the cosmos.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wow. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny because I also, like I told you, I wrote 2 books. And the first one, I mean, that was a while ago, like a few years ago. I wrote the first one, which is about like creating from source and manifesting from source, and really also finding your purpose in life, and remembering who you truly are, and how also you can train your intuition. So that is also a very practical guide. And then the second book, that was something that kind of moved me for a long time, because I was always like looking at the collective situation and the global situation and all like these crises we are facing since so many years.
Yep.
And I'm always like, because I work with constellation work, which is systemic. So you always look at yourself and what you are experiencing in a broader like perspective and context in the systems you live in. So I was drawn to like writing about how you can deal in a more positive and resilient way with like these huge crises we're seeing, and how you can also use it as a tool for awakening, or as a remembrance of awakening and also healing.
Yeah.
And also came in as a download. Like it was so, like I really had, I think it was like 3 weeks I was kind of sitting in my flat, being in a cave and just writing. And I was like so fascinated about what came through. And it felt like a birth giving. Yeah, totally. I felt something is like birthed through me. And yeah, and that's like amazing when we can be open for these kind of downloads, I think.
Yeah, and this fourth book that came, The Architecture of Peace, it's also a practical understanding of peace. Not because we speak so much about peace, but we have to live peace. It's not enough to speak about it. But that actually came on a new moon. I had a new moon ceremony, and then said, okay, it's now starting to come new. So that was kind of funny. And I said, I don't have time to all this book. But actually what happened, I tried to do the thing that I planned to do, but I couldn't. It was the energy it was kind of, this was the first time I almost felt that I didn't have any choice.
Yes.
So I was like, I cannot do anything else. If I do, I will become sick. I just had to write, and I was guided that this book, The Architecture of Peace, is the most important, because just look, it is war, it is fight, it is crisis. So the architecture of peace is the most important to put out, and it is translated into 7 languages.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I think that's the most important topic we're facing, or it has to be, it has to be a top priority. And I think many people, like what I see with my clients, that many people are just scared because we don't know what's going to happen, and there's so much like uncertainty also politically. And then I think like creating peace globally starts with oneself, that you really find balance and peace in yourself. Because the more like the individuals have the frequency and embody the frequency of peace, the more it's going to be like a wave globally. That's what I believe. So we really have a responsibility and a power also. Like our own peace of mind is more like a responsibility. That's why I prioritize also like meditation. That's my top priority, because I need meditation to be in peace. When I'm not I'm like, I cannot even be helpful, so I need to look at my own peace of mind first before I go out and try to help others. And the more we remember this, the more we are also empowered, and we don't feel like we can't change anything.
Yeah, but the problem is kind of most nervous system in the body is activated. So many people have a kind of nervous system that are in reaction. So we are so programmed with a overload nervous system. So what you say, to start to meditate, go in nature and work inward, but we need to do something with our nervous system, because that is
Yeah, exactly. Being in nature or meditation or just using some incense like oils, I like to use that also, and just really regulate ourselves and be calm. And that's also what's going to keep the body healthy. Like the immune system is stronger when the mind is calm. And especially when there is so much like happening outside, we need to like prioritize that and really train. I call it like a muscle of resilience. Also in my second book, which is about crises, I call resilience is something you can train, like you can train when you go to the gym or you go to the yoga studio. Also, the inner resilience is like a muscle you can train. And the more you train it, the better off you are, because even if something happens, like maybe you have a loss of a loved person, or maybe you have something like a sickness or an illness coming into your life, you're going to be stronger in facing that. You're not going to give in so easily, and you're going to be like back in your own power faster. And that's something so important.
Yeah, I spoke a lot about resilience when I wrote the Health Bible, because when I was in the dark night of the soul, when you meet, pain after pain after pain after chaos after, and it was, I'm glad today because it really transformed me. But being in it, it was hard work, really hard work. And I didn't know where it will end, so it felt endless, because 6 years, being in it in 6 years, it is a long time.
Yeah, it's a very long time. Yeah. But then how did you find out of it? Like, was there someone that helped you, or was it more your like an inner work or an inner shift that helped you?
I followed my guidance all the way. So I met, when the student are ready, you will find a teacher. So I was in Peru a month. I was in trainings. I worked inward, and so I met a lot of people. I traveled, and it was a peace for me everywhere. And when I was sick, I also went to doctors, and the doctors and therapists wanted to have help from, they made me more sick. So all the time I needed to find my strength. So I met so many. The system in Norway, we think it's very good, but it's not so good, because it is the old way of thinking, the Western mind of thinking about health, and that didn't work at all. So I just listened, and I followed the guidance. So that was kind of me opening up to the bigger me, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, that's super powerful that you listen to your own guidance, because it can trigger a lot of fear. When doctors tell you something, they say this is the only way, or this is the way, and don't do that. And then, I mean, maybe sometimes they're right. So you can tune into your own wisdom and really ask, is this my truth? And what is my body? Like, what is the truth and the wisdom of my body? But if you don't, like, if you feel this is not what's going to help me, you really have to trust yourself first. That's super important. And also, I think there's so many different ways of healing, and it's more like, often it's more on the spiritual level. Like, that's what I believe, that sickness and illness, the cause is more on the spiritual level. It's not, and the body is like a mirror of that. So we can also, when you have a physical illness, you can ask yourself and just see, okay, where am I not in balance with my purpose and my path in life? Because often when you come back to your like to the northern star, like to the
Yeah.
purpose, and you remember, this is what I'm supposed to do, that's my dharma, then also everything else is going to align, like the body, then the finances, the relationships, everything is going to follow that purpose. But that's the most important thing. That's why I wrote my book about purpose, because I think that's, many people just forgot, they're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and they're just having a job which is like not making them happy. And that's not what we are here for. We are here to really create, and to bring something into the world. And that's what the purpose is. And when we follow that, everything is going to realign.
Yeah. To align to our, because I have January last year, so a little bit over a year, I went out of the system completely. I have been out of it and then started, But I was guided to make the new system. So that's why the book is the architecture. So I made the Vinema Reset 13 module, and it's like, wow, it felt overwhelming. And I have taken the program 2 times for people. And now I'm doing it in English. And after this 30 module, it came 4 more module that if you want the quick way, and it's the hero's journey, we know that all of us are in the hero's journey. And the spiral of grace, and DNA detox, and monad integration. And all of them, I have been through them myself. So I was guided, what we have showed you, it is very helpful if you want to go. Because what I said yesterday in the group, in the breakup room, I'm so tired of being homo sapiens. I'm sick of it. So I live as homo luminous. So homo sapiens, we are so reactive. We go reactive mode, it's like, I'm so done with it. I think it's so boring being homo sapiens.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, we have to transcend that. That's
Yeah.
that's like what awakening is about, transcending the human limitations, because in the end we are soul, we are infinite beings.
Yeah.
Body, and then also, but we have to integrate it. That's what I think was super important, because often, I mean, I had spiritual awakenings like as a very young age, even during my childhood, during my young adult life. So I was always drawn to just leaving the body, meditation, being transcended. And then I really had to integrate it. I had to come back and just do the human stuff. And then I could, I felt more balanced. So I think about both, being like grounded and just dealing with this like worldly stuff, and then also just knowing who you are and creating from this, like, this knowingness of infinite possibilities and just love, really that's our original state. And when we know that, so much more is possible than just trying to fix things from the human perspective.
Yeah. And I also talk a lot about it's important to be grounded, because it can't say, oh, are you just flying in your thoughts? And I said, no, not at all. As we were supposed to meet, and I said, I have to have this time when we have the light. I go to the mountain every day almost, if it's not something other. But I have 2 hours in the middle of the day. That's my time. And then I go to the mountain. So, and this is to ground myself. I know that I'm connected to Mother Earth. So I need this foundation. If I'm supposed to do all the good stuff, I also need to connect just with my feet on the ground, and kind of be a channel, but be grounded as well.
Yes, yeah. I think that's super important, especially if you're very open and like a little, or you have psychic gifts, like many of us. You're a super empath, or you have, like, I'm an intuitive, so I have so many downloads, and I'm like, I just love these like realms, the astral realm, and I'm just feeling so home. But then, oh no, I need to also just have my feet on the ground, and I think both is super necessary, also for and for the nervous system. Like, the nervous system has to be regulated, and it needs the more like the lower frequencies, like having really grounded food, or just walking a lot. I like to walk. That's my medicine. Like, I do my daily walks, and I'm like, okay, I need to really feel my feet on the ground, and just connecting with earth. Also the rhythm of walking, that's super helpful for me. So everyone has to see what is the medicine you need.
And actually, I like to experiment with myself, and also I get a lot of feedback for others. And I have spoken several years about me doing ice bath. I go swimming, But when I'm in Lingen, it is ice also, so I cannot go. So it's kind of still. So, and I will use a lot of time to open it up every day. So I have been some months without ice bathing, and I feel the change. It's like, wow, I'm so amazed. So this is almost like you are eating. It's a fresh thing that happens. So the immune system is much better if I ice bath every other day. So I normally do it, and I was home for a week, and I did it every day this week, and it's like, wow, there it was again. It is so fascinating to. But when I went out after a couple of months, it was so cold, and it was like. So I could only have 30 seconds. It was like.
I want to try that. I never really did. I mean, I know about it and I heard about it a lot. I always had a little like hesitation, but I think I would like to try to. Are you going really to the ocean? Like
I go to the ocean because the ocean doesn't. Here is the lake, and the lake is frozen. So we live near the ocean, and that never freeze. So I can go all season. But here, where the lake is frozen, so I have to go for a long, and that's like okay.
Go to the ocean ice bathing. Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I really like sauna a lot. I never really went to sauna, and just this winter I started doing it, and it helps me so much. Like I feel my immune system is stronger, and it is so much like relaxation for the muscles. And I now do it like twice a week, 3 times a week, and my body is really craving it because I need the heat. So I think it's always like what also asking the body, what do you need? What do you want? Also when it comes to food, some people need that, other people need more of that. So there is not this one rule, what everyone has to follow, but more like what is right now, what is exactly what I need, and what does my body want.
Yeah, and that's so important what you touched on that, because the body is so crystal clear. It tells us all the time what it wants, and if we listen. But I know for several years I said, well, my soul say that I want, because I drink a lot of coffee and cream, and it is too much coffee because my heart is like when I drink. So I said, well, this is for my soul, and then I was guided, no, this is not for your soul, it's for your ego. So it wasn't the body craving it, but it was, I love it, the taste. Yeah. So it's.
I mean, Vienna is the city, like it is like one thing that's really known for Vienna, coffee. So I love coffee, but I only drink it in the morning. So that's my, I know if I drink it afternoon, like after lunch, I'm not well. My nervous system is like too agitated. But if I have it in the morning, one coffee, that's fine. So I just enjoy it. Like, oh my gosh, I love coffee so much. But also I try to have breaks, when I do like a fast or a detox, I try to just step away from it for a week or two. And then also I feel, wow, it's actually also really good to not have it. But I mean, we can enjoy life, I think we're here to also enjoy and just don't take everything too seriously.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I don't, so that I'm not fanatic, because being hysteric, and it's like, yeah, and also since I have written and I have done a lot of things, it's like I have to have some kind of comfort, but yeah, I love it doing that. So if I'm too strict to myself, that's not love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it becomes really rigid, and that's then also like ego.
Yeah.
I see sometimes I'm like even people that are really spiritual and they meditate a lot, like hours and just like years. And I'm like, are you happy? And I'm like, I don't really feel joy and happiness. And like, and that's what it's about, like meditation is about being connected to God, to source, which is pure joy and life. And if I'm not feeling that, like something is not, that's my own like radar. What I try to follow is this really happy and more empathic towards others, and not feeling more distant. That can also be a trap. Some people that are meditating so much, they're feeling more distant to the world. And that's not what it's about. It's about integration. It's about loving, just being more close to what I think is outside of myself, more inclusive. So, yeah.
I'm so glad that you mentioned this, because I remember when I started I was in a course, and the one who was kind of having this course, she was very into hierarchy. She was the guru, and she knew everything had to go through her. So she was very the old way. And she said, ask me all the question because I know everything. She was very on the pedestal, and I asked a lot of questions because this was new to me. So, and I asked, and then she told against herself. So she said something, and then said, "But you said last time you said this, and this is the opposite." And after I remember, she said, "Well, you are nailing me. You want to hang me on the cross." I said, "No, I'm trying to understand." And she became so angry, and she had a furious outburst in the midst of all, and almost all went and like, is this spirituality? And that's the old spirituality, because you want to be on a pedestal and a kind of very rigid. And she hadn't worked with her trauma.
Yeah. I mean, that's common, actually. That's sadly very common, that it's a form of narcissism. And often, what I think, that people that have a lot of trauma, they are very much drawn to spirituality, of course, because they have so much pain. But if they don't do the work before they doing the spiritual work, there is this disconnect, and not, this something is not integrated, and that's sometimes even more dangerous than just like someone that's like a pure narcissist. You're like, okay, of course this is not a good person, but if they come in a mask of being a spiritual teacher, that's something you really have to learn and discern. So I mean, I now I've seen so much, to be honest, really. So now what I'm only looking at is the integrity of a person, which are the words and the actions and the energy a match. I'm not really listening to what people say. I'm just looking at the integrity, and also to what is like the resonance in me. When I feel something is off, I'm not even asking what it is. I'm like, something is off, I'm just I'm just following that. And that's something that helps me to navigate life more peacefully. And so, I mean, I think we have to learn also from these like experiences.
I'm so glad I had her, because I learned so much, because she had big time bypass. I had never heard about bypass, and it's like, is this spirituality? It's like, and I said that I cannot go on this, and then she sent me 11 messages, and she was so cruel. It was so ugly. I had never gotten this ugly mail. It's like, what?
That's weird.
So I learned a lot through this person, but and if you go into spirituality and use it as a shield, as a mask, or as a so it is this with, as a doctor, as you can do it in all profession also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's just it's like trauma, it's a collective trauma pattern, and just it's sort of, sadly, it's something that's so like in our DNA. I think that people are just acting that out, and especially when they have power, there is like a trap. You're feeling maybe even drawn to doing something. But I mean, it's just like, we have to be like in our highest integrity. That's what I'm trying to follow in my own work. Like every decision I make, everything that comes out of my mouth, I'm like, okay, is this coming from my place of integrity, or am I like a little, I don't know, misaligned? And then I really try to correct myself. And that's the only thing we can do. This is like our responsibility. And what everyone else is doing, I mean, that's their karma, It's like, also, I'm not really trying to judge anyone. Like, that's their own stuff. I can only correct what I'm putting out. And that's also what's going to come back to me. That's all. So, yeah.
But to also be, we learn just as much from the contrast as all the comfort zone. So, or I have learned even more from the contrast.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, those are, of course, like these really disappointing experiences, they are also helping us to wake up and to be more, just being more clear and vigilant. And yeah,
because after this spiritual, I went in a pilgrimage for some, and I was bullied, and I haven't experienced bullied, and it's like, it was old people, or it was adult, and being bullied is like, I didn't expect that, going on a pilgrimage in Spain, kind of. And this was also, and I remember after a week I thought, I will just go away from them and just go my own path. But then I heard kind of, no, you will continue, you will learn, this is and then so I didn't break out. I stick to the group, and I was amazed that people can be so mean. But at the same time, pilgrimage is like you shedding your shadow, and all the shadow they shed was on me. So they projected everything on me. So and I was the youngest one also. So I got so much of their garbage, and it was not. So, but I can laugh with today, but it's like wow, the path has been interesting.
That sounds like really a lot of projection also in that group. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's also what I said to you when you experienced this last week, and said this is for you, because I see that all the shit that has happened, it's for me. I use it for me. I have evolved. That's why I say I'm sick of living as Homo sapiens. I live as Homo luminous, because I create my own life. I stand in my own state. So I know who I am. I know that it is my inner state. I can decide if I want to react or if I want to be in this inner state.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what we have to learn also. Sometimes, yeah, it takes a little moment or a time to remember, but then you're like, okay, I just don't want to be in pain. I don't want to be like, I don't even want to blame anyone. I just want my own peace of mind. So, I mean, like, it's like selfish. Forgiving someone is more like a selfish act, because you regain your own peace of mind when you forgive someone else. It's not even about the other person. Yeah, but still, I mean, it needs this like integration where sometimes people try to bypass, they're like, or like, I just gonna forgive, I'm gonna forget, but then it's still like the charge is still there. So it's not, then there is this disconnect, and you feel it's not congruent. So that's what I do when I coach people. I'm really looking at the congruency, and I'm very like exact in that, because we need to be like fully realigned and just bring those parts home, and not just forgetting about them, like, because we want to be so like awake and spiritual, and that's not working.
No, the energy never lies. The energy never lies.
Exactly. Yeah.
I actually did a podcast, and this podcast will never be released. That's the first time, but it's so I will not. It's nothing against this, but the energy, it was the lowest I have, and even though I really holded it's like this is too low. So this podcast will never, no one will never see it, because the energy, and even though it is an important topic, it was given from a state, because even we talk, people can feel the energy from this. So it is not only the words that are significant. It is the energy. Are we activated? Do we get energy? And if a podcast, if you can hear, it was like wow. And I tried several times to shift, but but I learned a lot. So that's the first time that I have done a podcast that low. Yeah. Because normally I'm myself there, but so we have to be open ourselves.
Yeah. And also we are free, that's, I think, even when we produce something, we're free, and just we can decide, is that something I'm gonna release or not? Like, we don't have to do it. It's our freedom. And I think that's super important, because the things that we put out there, like, people watch it, even if they don't comment, even if they don't like it. There are so many people that see it. So like, I'm really, I mean, now I start, because I just did a really fun post yesterday. You have to look at my timeline on Facebook, because, I told you I work with archetypes in the constellation work. And we started to just put on costumes for that, like really fun costumes. And amazing, like, costume yesterday. I was like a how did we say, like a showgirl with a huge like necklace, and then I bought like a sword with a pink heart and a crown. So, and I made a screenshot of like the actual situation when I was holding the call, and I think people think that's an AI photo, but it wasn't. You have to look it up. And I was like hesitant if I should post it. And then I thought, of course, because this is like so me. And I think the frequency of the call is like in the picture, but it's a really fun picture. And I thought, no, I'm just going to also show that side of myself, because this is part of my work. It's like also really creative and free. And I just love what we can also do when we put on like something like a costume and you really slip into the role of that archetype more deeply. So yeah, but I'm always tuning into my higher like self and asking, is that something I'm supposed to do or not? And I think that's important.
Yeah. And you touched upon this AI, because some days ago I watched a video just popped up in the field, and I was emotional about this video, and then it said this is AI fake, and it's like, so it kind of, it can touch you. And some, I have seen fake AI video before and never gone, but this was, this was the first time I kind of, okay, this could be real, and I went into it, and then it was okay, this is AI made, and it's like, oh. So I think it's a little bit sad also that, and at the same time,
I mean, I think it is also a form of creation. That's how, some also, I love AI. I'm even like, I started to create like GPTs for my clients, like some like programs they can use where they really have an amazing mirror, and they use it beside the life coaching they get. So, and I do use AI a lot, and I think, sometimes I watch a video and it's AI generated and I really like it, and I'm like, wow. I mean, that's also creation.
yeah,
And even if it's AI, I mean, everything is, in the end, everything is artificial. When you look around, that's like artificial reality, it's not real also. So why do we judge it so much? So I think I'm trying to be more free about it. If I like it, I'm like, I don't even care if it's like written by AI or written by human, because I think it's also like what you put into AI, the prompts, this is your energy, it's your intention, and then the AI is giving you an output, but it's not just something that has nothing to do with you at all,
yeah. I agree, and yeah, and if it can activate or if it can help, because this was very emotional, and for a lot of people, seeing emotional and let us be moved. So even though I don't need to release, but for someone, someone I guide, I say, I encourage you to watch love movie, kind of a romantic love movie, because they are holding so much back. And watching a love movie, I know that this will, if they open up, they can kind of release some tension. So I know that we can use television, we can use movie, we can use.
Yeah, it's a form of creation also, and it's going to be more like, now I think it's still really new, that there's a lot of like, we don't really know what it is yet, and maybe it's going to develop into so much more. We're not gonna, it's something that's so new. It's like, it's a new step in evolution, but I always think like it can bring so much positive into the world also.
I agree.
Make of it. So I'm more like, I don't know, I'm just very fascinated by the new possibilities of AI, and also how we can use it in an ethical way. I think that's super important.
Yep.
Very like aligned way and ethical way. And then it can be a tool also for healing, for reflection. That's what I think. Like, I use it a lot for my own like processes, when I'm trying to make a decision, or I'm reflecting into something that happens. I have my own AI coach, and I'm just using it as a mirror, and it helps me. And then of course I need to make the decision. I can rely on what AI tells me, but I can use it as a help for making my own decision.
Yeah. And that's very important, because if we don't use ourselves, because what we know, that if you, for example, we put a chip in our head, or if we eat the tablet that they make us sleep, we know that if we use something in our brain or in our body, the body stop making it, because it comes from the outside. So if we just use AI and not using our most sophisticated instrument, that's the danger. So I'm very I love AI. I love it. I agree, and I think in a couple of years we will see that most people have a robot home doing a lot of things, because this is where we are going. But what it requires of us is really to wake up and to understand even more about this instrument, because it is we making the AI, and the divine technology that we have. This is the most important, because I know that someone talk about we giving up our divinity when we go beyond the program mind, and this is the most sophisticated technology. So if we start to put chip into, then we give away our biology and the most sophisticated instrument and divinity that we, because what we can do, it is amazing. And I love, that's why I say I love experimenting. And yeah, and actually what happened the last week, I had visitors from Elvis, and I had no relationship with Elvis Presley. So he contacted me, and I started to laugh, and I communicated, and he also said, you have to, he's here again. It is a book about him, The Occult Elvis.
Okay.
I have ordered it, but it's on its way, but I haven't started reading it. But he said this book will help a lot of people.
Wow, that's cool. So you really have also, you talk to him, like you're just getting it downloaded. Yeah, I love that. Wow.
And I remember in 2018, 2019, I was on the mountain, and my phone had broke. And I had the Android phone, and I asked my family, and also, you have to buy iPhone. And I bought the iPhone, but I couldn't understand it because I wasn't so technical understanding. And I said, okay, I will put it in. I cannot. And even though my brother and my kids all said, well, it is so easy with iPhone, I couldn't find out. And then I was on the mountain, and then Steve Jobs came, started, no, I will show you how you solve this problem. And I started to laugh. I laughed so much that I fell down. I remember that this is so crazy. You come and show up how I can. And he told me how to do. And I remember I said, okay, if this is for real, if you also can help me to, because all the stores said that they cannot take out the content in the old. If I get out the content and this is for real, I will keep using iPhone, and I have used iPhone since. So he helped me, he gave me the solution, and also I get all the content from the old phone out. So it's like, so it is fascinating how we can download all is there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's also what I do when I do constellation work and we work with archetypes. This is like really information in the field, and especially like these known personalities, they're also archetypes. Like Steve Jobs, he's in the field. It's like a frequency, and you can you can tune in and just get like all the answers you need, and then you can learn many things so much faster, because it's not like only an intellectual learning, it's more like a knowing, and you just get a download, and then all of a sudden your body knows it. And that's also what I love, that like we get downloads and we can tune into these different realms and frequencies.
But actually, I don't. All the downloads I have, I don't say, oh, I want to talk to Elvis. I want to talk to Steve Jobs. I want to talk to Tim. They come to me. So all these sources have come to me, and I'm amazed every time. Like Tim Bergling, the Avicii came last year. He asked me to make a module. He said, you hold the solution that I seek. I have worked with people that want to commit suicide. I also wanted when I was so young. So he said, you hold the key. And I said, yes. So he come in and he said, can you do this? He didn't say you have to. I had a choice, I thought about it. Yes, I can do. So I never go in and I want to talk to this, and because it's like, oh, you are talking to famous people. I talk as much to other, but I don't know why they come in. It's kind of funny, but I don't choose them. They choose me. And I think it's because I'm open. So it's kind of, I'm here in service. What is for the biggest best? And this book about the architecture of peace. I don't know who kind of, I don't know who, but this was so important. So I didn't ask. Actually, I didn't ask who is saying this. But I just said yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's wonderful. That's also how I experience it. I mean, I think sometimes I see it more like a two-way relationship, when I channel or I work with realms. I also like to be a little more directional and just, putting my own intention into the field, and then I feel the resonance and the answer. And sometimes many times it's like a surprise. I'm like, what's going on? Like there's something so surprising that's happening. But also being intentional can be really helpful, because then you're using your own like free will, and it's not. I mean, I've trained so many like people in their, developing and enhancing their like psychic and intuitive skills. And what I saw often is that some people, they're like just open, and so many things come in that are sometimes not even helpful. And then a little bit more clear and directional can also be a good, it can be a good and important step.
I agree. Yes. And when you talk about it, I remember the first time I was intentional. It was actually my father who said it, because my father passed. And I remember I didn't feel him. He didn't come true. And it's like, and then I said, I'm waiting for you. Where are you? And then he said, you can start it. You don't have to wait. It's a two ways kind of communication. It's not that, because I had all the time before that kind of, just it happened to me, and said, you can start like you did now. You asked, why aren't you there? I'm waiting. And so you can start it. It's like, wow. And after that, it was like, okay, I can do it, even though I don't do it so often, but we can.
Yes. Yeah, we can. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, thank you so much. That's such a wonderful conversation. Wow. I think I need to hop onto another meeting. I'm just looking at the time, but maybe we can do like a follow-up. We need to have another like podcast, because I think there's so much more we can talk about.
We will have an episode 2 when the time is right.
Yeah. But that was a lovely.
Thank you so much, Lisa Wallner.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I really like your energy, and just also like the energy of the region where you are, the northern, like Norway region. That's like so lovely. Yeah,
we have a high energy here.
It is. Yeah, I can tell.
If this conversation resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share this with whoever you feel that needs to hear it. Together, your support helps us sustain this work, bringing transformational wisdom into the world and nurturing the awakening of our shared foundation, Mother Earth. Thank you for listening to the Divine Design podcast with Ann-Peggy Divine. Join us next Sunday for another Heaven on Earth unfolding conversation. With grace, reverence, and unity, may the path of your divine design light the way. From the divine in us to the divine in you.